Greetings and salutations. I'm here. Welcome to my channel, Tafaribtm. I'm here to deliver the fourth installment of Setting the Captives Free. It's my 63rd solar return, so yay me! Happy anniversary! Um, Thank you for being here to celebrate with me. Feel free to send love and light in the comments. I appreciate it. And so let's go ahead and get started today. We start with my personal story. So, in my own experience of being sexually abused around 8 or 9 till I was 11 or 12, uh, among other abuses, when I finally got the courage to tell, there was no rescuer. I first told my teen cousin and his best friend, Brian and Leonard. Brian is my cousin, he's deceased now. Um, and they were 12 or 13, I think, at the time, if my math is right. They convinced me to tell my auntie, Brian's mother, who's also deceased at this time. She's my aunt, my maternal auntie. She displayed great anger and convinced me to come stay with her. I don't know what conversation she had with my mother about the situation. Um, but after a short period of time, I miss my family. I'm the oldest of six. Um, yeah, I think we had everybody but Kelly, maybe. Well, my younger sister, I'm sorry. I don't mean to be giving out everybody's name. Um, but I think all of my siblings were here except the baby. So I returned home because I missed my family and I was young. So, at that age, you want to be around what's familiar, right? Um, my mother and my tormentor were sitting on the couch when I arrived with my aunt. Uh, he had his arm around her on the couch, and so my mother told me to repeat to her what I had told my aunt and my cousins about what happened to me, and I did. And when I finished, she looked at me and said, "If it happens again, let me know," which was odd to me as a child. And so, of course, he denied it. My aunt got angry and they were having words back and forth. That was the first time I heard the phrase breath and britches because she was saying that, some women will do anything for breath and britches. And I didn't really know what that meant at the time. Um, but I did know that I had to defend myself. And so I started taking knives and the chicken fork out of the kitchen and hiding in my room. And a couple of times I had placed the weapon that I was going to use. Um, and when he would come in my room, I would say, I have a knife. And so a couple times my knives would disappear, or the chicken fork was usually what I got. And so when I say chicken fork, long handled fork, you know, that you use to turn the frying chicken with. And so I would wait later in the evening before bed, closer to bedtime, before I would get the weapon, so that it wouldn't be confiscated. Um, uh, I s- so okay, so I wrote this before my birthday. So I'm 63 now, right? And I still won't sleep in the dark because I need to see. When I open my eyes, I need to be able to see like whatever might be going on. If I hear a noise or gotta go to the bathroom these days. Um, so I keep a nightlight. Since then, I suppose I could probably get some psychiatric help and learn to sleep in the dark, but I'm okay with a nightlight. So when I, and a side note, so when I started my menses, I don't know what prompted me at the time. I started my menses when I was 9. Um, but I wouldn't put my pads in the bathroom trash. I would hide them behind. We had a clawfoot tub just set up against the wall, right? So it was on 3 sides. There was walls on 3 sides, and so I would hide them until it was my turn to take out the garbage, and then I would gather them and take them out at once. Now that I've been doing this series on Set the Captives Free and have learned about witchcraft and voodoo and how what they use, I understand that to have been a prompt from my spirit guides because I don't know why I did that. But I did. From the beginning, I would hide them and then take them outside to the trash. Um, so my abuser was never punished or arrested or anything like that. And when I was older, when I was 16, I was babysitting for a different auntie, my uncle's ex-wife, and she was in the service, so she needed a babysitter for a week while she went on bivouac, I think they called it. Anyway, I babysat the boys while she was away, um, and I was roofie. Um, Something was put in my drink, and that same abuser and another guy that was there, still not clear why they were there, were attacking me. And one of my cousins came into the room to put, and he was a kid, you know. I was there to babysit him, but he wouldn't leave. And so they stopped and they left. That cousin is now deceased as well. R.I.P. Rod. Uh, so, um, this series is personal to me. Um, the spell casting, the witchcraft, the children that are being abused is personal. So, according to the writers of Fear the Dark, the fear of breaking the spirit oaths taken by the trafficking victims, and for me, the fear of being separated from my family was a big deal. Um, in a way, protects the abusers, you know. So the authorities engaged a local Nigerian priest. So we're talking about the two girls in the last video. It was two girls from Nigeria that had been trafficked to Great Britain, and so and they wouldn't tell what happened before to them. They wouldn't talk to the authorities. So the authorities engaged a local Nigerian priest who was a right hand path worker of the Rada to help the girls feel free of their curse and help convict their traffickers. Similar Nigerian trafficking cases involve voodoo rituals have been reported in Germany, Ireland, Portugal, and Spain. I remember I mentioned some of those conquerors uh, in the definitions of these different practices and stuff, and which parts of the continent, that they conquered and were in control of. So this destructive domination, cursing, and spell casting is a scourge and has become endemic upon humanity globally. We don't need a new vaccine. We need a new spiritual health routine. The writers also report the rituals aren't just used for human captivity, they also facilitate evil magic for other endeavors, such as stardom, people who want to be famous and rich or whatever. Um, they pay for this kind of work. Ill gotten longevity for rich, sickly people. Love spells, shut up spells, death spells, etc. Some of these rituals require killing of children and others to invoke supernatural powers derived from their body parts or fluids, or the actual sacrifice of the children for their energetic essence. And a side note about the parts and body fluids. Um, my oldest brother is currently doing time, life without parole, for a crime he didn't commit. And so the arrest warrant that they used to get blood and hair samples from his body, so they violated his body. They got these blood and hair samples with a warrant that said that at the scene there were unidentified blood and hair samples. But in the lab reports, because I have them, in the lab reports, they record the two victims, their blood samples and hair samples. They type them and everything. So they have that. They have his blood type in there, but they don't have the type of the unidentified blood that supposedly was at the scene. So if you use in your warrant to get to take body fluids from him, to take hair samples from him, you said, well, there's some unidentified stuff here, and so we need to know what your type is, so that we know, so we can determine whether that's yours or not. And they get it, but then the unidentified sample that they mention in the warrant is not in the lab report. So there's that. So we wonder, one, well, I don't wonder. One, my brother was railroaded, and two, what did they do with his samples? Um, these activities are reminiscent of how pre colonial American captives were handled. One of the most well known stories is the murder, beheading, skinning, and dismembering of Nat Turner's corpse. So after the Nat Turner rebellion, they hung him, and then they pieced up his body and skinned him, and you know did all kinds of deplorable things to his corpse. There are many stories of families passing down purses, shoes, furnishings, potions, and charms constructed or consisting of the remains of American descendants of slavery pre and post captivity. The so-called founding father, one of them, George Washington. Everybody knows about his false teeth, supposedly made of wood, but they weren't. They were made of uh, a former captive's teeth. So now we know that it's public knowledge. But yeah, the legend, the lie, is that they were wood. So in Uganda, Uganda has had an anti-human sacrifice task force since 2010. Think about that. A task force. Anti-human sacrifice. It's 2025. The United Nations High Commission in the Palermo Protocol, Section 5, Article 9, informs that poverty, underdevelopment, and lack of equal opportunity are not the only factors driving this evil practice. So that concludes uh, part 4. If you appreciate my content and would like to support this channel, hit the like and subscribe buttons, leave a comment, let's conversate, uh, uplift and edify each other. Follow me on Facebook at Tafaribtm, Betyma, or you can follow me on Gebo, also known as X. Spread the love. Offerings are appreciated as well. You can send me a love offering or a birthday gift at um, $ Tafari BTM and FIY. You can find older content that I've posted under some of the hashtags below. Uh, so on my former social media sites, I was Paula Barnett. So my Facebook got hacked. My Instagram hacked, cloned, or whatever they did with it. Um, and I have some evidence of people starting charities in my name and just posting weirdness, stuff that has nothing to do with me. I am a bit of a conspiracy theorist. So if it's not that type of content or uh, Black Power to the People content or ADOS information or anything to do with herbs and saving the planet, it's not me. I don't do none of that pornographic stuff. I've seen some weirdness. I don't belong to any charities. No charities, no churches, none of that stuff. So anybody that's trying to get you to give them money that's not me specifically, it's not me. So I thank you. My public name, my government name is Paula Barnett, and my public spiritual name is Tafaribtm or BTM. Thank you, and I will see you on the next one. Peace be upon you.